Good morning, YouTube. It is time to do a rewind and recap video, hopefully quickly when it comes to week 7 DFS. Let's put that sucker to bed. Hopefully you guys had a good night. I know that, or a good weekend. I know that I did. And actually it was centered around football, and I'm not bailing on personal stories because those performed better. We had a good weekend in NFL inside the DFS Army. Hopefully you guys did too. If you don't know who I am Chapo Dong, and I am a coach and contributor inside the DFS Army. You can find the link in the description of this tab, dfsarmy.com. We are a one-stop shop for DFS sports, NFL, NBA, MLB. We've got it all: hockey, soccer, PGA, whatever. We have coaches and contributors in every category. We have a private VIP only Slack channel forum that covers all of those sports. We talk, we coach, we do a lot of groupthink. We put a lot of stuff together to make your job easier when it comes to researching the daily fantasy sports that you like to play. So if you're interested in becoming a VIP, you go down again to the link in the description of the tab, use coupon code CHOP, CHOP, and fast forward yourself into a shorter growth curve, get better, learn to build your own lineups. Don't buy them out there on the web. Those guys are shady and full of crap anyway. We are producing winner after winner after winner in all the major sports every single week. Anything from $150,000 in second place in the Sunday Million a couple of weeks ago, all the way down to the guy who bets $6 and just wants to win 25 and grind up a bankroll and enhance his learning experience when it comes to, or his watching experience when it comes to watching his favorite games. It is what it is. So anyway, before we waste too much time on pimping and promoting the site, guys, I only do that because I really believe it. I'm sorry if it wears on you and it gets annoying to you, but I'm never going to stop trumpeting it. It's like if you found the cure for cancer, you'd go to the top of the mountaintops and you wouldn't give a shit. If people shouted at you or called you an idiot or whatever, I believe what I believe, and I believe that DFSArmy.com is the best content source for DFS based on the coaches and the contributions that we get in that Slack forum and the teaching we're able to do one-on-one. In fact, let's dive in. Let's show you a little bit. This is my own little corner, and this is all of the coaching that I've been doing this morning, answering and fielding feedback and helping guys get onto a process and get better with what it is that they do. We have another coaching corner here with a contributor in DFS and Donuts. We have Geek Speak for the founder of DFS Army right here. We have all of these things, GPP discussion. We have MLB, NFL, NASCAR, NBA, whatever it is you want to talk about. If we go into, you can see we post our winning lineups. We like to brag. We like to talk about what it is that we do. I'm showing people a hockey chart that we now do inside the Army for our hockey games. It's the one sport we don't have a ton of content for in the DFS Army, but we're working on it to bring it up to speed with all the others. My favorite source right now is the winning lineups page. Guys, this is just last night and this weekend. We're not posting lineups that are sucking. We're posting lineups that did really, really well. We teach you how to build these lineups for yourself rather than go out there on the internet and buy them. There's a lot more pride in doing your own work. You want to look at a couple of them. This is a ladder. We talk about ladders. The video yesterday on my YouTube channel talks about ladders and why they work. Look at this smash job. That guy, can't even say his name. I'm not even going to try. But I Killed Kenny did one too. Boom. Huge ladders these guys are running. My own ladder did well. When it comes to last night, the NFL lineup I was talking about with Wentz and Ertz smashed, and it swept another ladder in for $20, out for $40. I mean, easy peasy, guys. This is the NBA ladders that I ran last night. That was in for 12 and out for about another 50, $55. Am I getting rich off this stuff? No. If you want to, scale it up. Put in 150, come out with 400. You know, if this is something that you want to do, put in 125, come out with 500. We all have all different bankrolls here. See, in for 11, out for 47. In for 6, out for 25. Some of us are big ballers, 250 out, 500. Some of us are not. Some of us are more normal, in for 4, but you can't argue the ROI. When you're sitting here talking about lineup sellers out there on the web, I'm sorry, they focus on double ups. We teach you a better way. And I'll leave that for our VIPs. If you want to learn that, you become a VIP. But ladders, they work. Sweep, 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 sweep. And we obviously had a pretty good weekend. Most of our weeks are like this. Some guys are winning, some guys aren't. But a lot of the guys as a collective group, we've just got people winning all the time. So don't miss the boat. Jump in. Let's cruise into this week as I scroll down here a little bit more and go ahead and close that one out. Let's cruise into the wishbone and let's review it. Then we'll maybe try to find some chalk for this week. I said Atlanta, New England. That game, actually, personally, it came out a little flatter for me. I thought that Atlanta would put up a fight. They didn't. But it didn't really hurt a ton of people. The one that I liked was the Monday night game, too. LA and Arizona didn't really pan out either, did it? I guess Gurley had a good day. But these are the things that we knew kind of going in. We talked about Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz. Fournette, if he sat, which Chris Ivory didn't work. And that's one thing I regret. We talked about Chris Ivory being an all-in type play, being a backup, getting the starting role job if Fournette sat. And I really missed this one personally. I think we all did. Once TJ Yeldon was activated, we should have seen it coming. They were in a committee last year, and what was going to be different? Fournette is a franchise running back. Chris Ivory is not. When you're going to replace that workload and that role with the backup, he needs to be getting the franchise back workload to have an opportunity to pay off his cheap price. The problem is these guys often are not of the same talent. Therefore, they fall right into committees. Damn, we should have seen that one coming with Fournette or with Fournette sitting and Ivory and Yeldon because we already had a track record of that happening. That honestly is the one takeaway from last week that's going to piss me off, and I will never make that mistake again. Some of us chased the Adrian Peterson points. I did in a lineup. Luckily, I paired him with Zeke Elliott, and it bailed it out. But what are you going to do? So he was in a great spot. I don't care what anybody says about how he shit the bed. He did, but he was in a great spot facing a team that gives up a ton of points to running backs, and every sign pointed, including his price, pointed to him getting another 20, 25 touches and it all working out again. It didn't. So what? We move on. Other guys, Rashard Matthews didn't work out really well. This is not looking like a good go. This is the chalk. This is what I'm identifying. Delaney Walker, Gronk. These are the names of the people that I think on Tuesday that we're going to be focusing on later in the week. If you look at the VIP article that we talked about called the check down, this one was a little later in the week, had a little bit more accuracy behind it. Again, though, Dak, Carson Wentz, we didn't know about Brett Hundley. I said that was something to watch. I didn't put him in any of my lineups, but on DraftKings, I don't blame anybody who did. I did better than Tyrod Taylor, only because I thought his upside with the weapons he was throwing to were better. Proved me wrong. What are you going to do? Hopefully the 5,100, well, I guess it killed you if you had Hundley. The running backs, this is something I do for our VIPs. You check all these boxes, and Le'Veon Bell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes checked versus Ezekiel Elliott, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes checked. McCoy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes checked. Melvin Gordon, 5 boxes checked. You got to use a little bit of your head and a little bit of discretion as to how good the spots are for these guys. Melvin Gordon shit the bed. But hopefully you weren't running him against Denver anyway. That's not the spot we typically want to attack. Denver has a solid rushing defense this year. We'd rather, even though it's 4 boxes, we'd rather take a Todd Gurley against Arizona because Gurley gets the usage and Arizona was allowing more points, and that's really all the LA offense does. Really, it sets up around feeding Gurley. So he was in a little better spot than Melvin Gordon last week. What are you going to do? Let's see. Scrolling down. Wide receivers. Tough last week. I think we knew going in, or at least I tried to point out going in, that we had a lot of good options at running back. So we could pay down a little bit at running back and use that money to pay up for consistency at wide receivers. And that's clearly the method that worked out last week. Des Bryant was okay. Larry Fitz did not come through. A.J. Green, Keenan Allen did not come through. Demaryius Thomas did not come through. So you can see how tough this was in general. Tight ends were another one with a lot of options that we could pay down a little bit instead of paying all the way up. I did like paying up for Zach Ertz on Monday night. If you ran that slate, he had a good night. Jordan Reed had another good night too, but generally speaking, paying down worked out. Defense and special teams is always a little volatile, and the kickers, same diff. Suck up at the top of the list. Had himself another good week. So, in a nutshell, that's your review of the check down, the wishbone, and the week that was. If we go back through, see who won the slate, this is not up to date just yet. Carson Wentz had a bigger night than any 18 points. That didn't matter. Kirk Cousins had an okay night too. But, Tom Brady did not have a great night. I think Russell Wilson outperformed him. So this, like I said, is off. Dak was your solid cash game quarterback, and that's just the way it was. Tyrod was in there too. If we go to the running back, Le'Veon Bell, LaShawn McCoy, Ezekiel Elliott, Mark Ingram. I mean, you just knew, right? This is what was going to happen. Julio had a nice day finally. Watch him go back into obscurity, though. I don't buy it with Julio. It's not like all of a sudden they're going to start targeting him 15 times a game and force red zone targets to him. Largely over his career, he's been a decoy. When they get to the red zone, Julio disappears. Julio can have a 300-yard day like we saw last year, but he's typically a rather boomer bust player. I'm not going to ever use him for cash. I did last week some, only because the coach said we're going to force him the ball, and typically when a coach says that, you can take it to the bank. They did. He panned out. Yay us. Not cash safe again. Until he proves he does this week in and week out for a while. Antonio Brown always cash safe. AJ Green, Mike Evans had a good game. We should have called him out somewhere. I'm not sure if we did or not. Michael Thomas kind of crapped on you. This feels like old stuff, but I don't know why some of these guys are getting points. Swish, update your shit, get better, because this is really kind of sad. You're making me look stupid here. Tight end, Gronk, Kelsey. I don't remember Kelsey having a great day. Ertz had a better day. Still solid. Jared Cook, if it wasn't for dropping a bunch of balls in that Kansas City game. Kyle Rudolph, Safarian Jenkins, Witten. All right, so you're getting an idea. Maybe Patriots D. See, none of this is updating. Man, Swish, damn it. I use you as a reliable source, and you're really screwing me. Get your shit together. In the meantime, you're out of here. So that recap didn't work too well. I apologize. We'll try and wrap this up in the next 3 minutes by picking out a little bit of chalk. Looking down this week, I like to go to Vegas Insider and start my research there because it gives me a consensus of all of these different sports books. And it looks like the Thursday game is going to be crap. You heard it here first. Play the slate, fade the game. Let everybody else that wants to get the drinking on the Thursday night play the game and load up on freaking Jarvis Landry and whoever they'd use for Baltimore. And then let's just let those guys shit the bed on them. And we'll just take all that dead money and we'll make our own money this week. So play the Thursday through Monday slate, skip the Thursday game. Perfect Thursday fade spot. Minnesota, Cleveland, 37.5 point total. Big Minnesota advantage. So Minnesota's going to have a pretty decent implied team total. Cleveland's going to be terrible. That puts the Minnesota defense squarely in play. It also puts Kyle Rudolph in play. I don't know who, maybe a Thielen, somebody like that. Remember this, though. Cleveland is actually okay against the run. You funnel your passing to the Cleveland. Here's the thing. They've got a shutdown corner in McCourty. If McCourty plays, then he's going to shut down one side of the Minnesota offense. I don't know if that'll be Thielen or Diggs or who, but he's going to shut somebody down. And therefore, that's why a lot of these tight ends smash against Cleveland, because they don't get anywhere really on the outsides with McCourty, so they have to go up the middle with the passing. Therefore, your tight end's beast. So puts Rudolph in a very, very good spot. Puts the defense in a very, very good spot. I wouldn't touch any running backs. Chicago, New Orleans looks like it's going to be a barn burner. I don't know where Chicago's going to come from in this one, but it looks like New Orleans set to put up some points. New Orleans defense might be in play again. I wouldn't run Chicago defense against Drew Brees at home. Drew Brees and whatever weapons he chooses to use for the day. So naked Brees sounds like the way to go there. Atlanta, New York. 46.5 point total. It's okay. Jets, not so good. Atlanta is showing horrible offense. This game might play to the under. I would probably take advantage of that and largely fade that game. I don't know who I like in that scenario. Atlanta's just been bad all year so far, and I do think that they miss the offensive coordinator Shanahan, and I think that this new guy is just kind of being stupid. There's no reason the team should go from a Super Bowl contender, high potency offense to all of a sudden struggling like hell 7 weeks into the season. First few weeks we can ride with patience a little bit, but it's getting time to shit or get off the pot. And it really looks like Atlanta's choosing to shit instead of get off the pot. So this game I just don't like it. Carolina, Tampa Bay, 44.5, 2.5 to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been bad against secondary. I don't trust Cam though either. I probably just stay away from that game. If my mind immediately goes to question marks on, this could happen, but then there's this. This could happen, but then no, sorry, I'm out. I don't pay any attention to that stuff. That's guesswork. You should save that for your GPPs. That's all speculation. That's when you play your narratives. Hey, 7 times that they were scheduled to score 18 or more points, Cam Newton was 30 of 35 with 3 touchdowns and a pick. And no, screw that. That's all speculation. If you don't have, serious league, week in, week out average numbers to go off of, then you don't really have crap in my book. You save your narratives for GPPs, save your speculation with, Cam might have a good week. If you have to say he might, wrong, move on. San Francisco, Philly off, but Philly's going to have a big. How chalky is Ertz and Wentz going to be this week? I'm sure that I haven't looked yet. I'm sure. Thanks for the update. I'm sure that the price has gone sky high on Carson Wentz. Probably just is what it is. Should be by now. 47.5 point total, 10.5. San Francisco's not been very good. Philly gets them at home, where San Francisco's going west to east, doing one of those noon games, early starts. We know that's typically a trend. Load up on San Francisco, or load up on Philly, avoid San Francisco. I would say Wentz, Ertz, Philly D. Just off the top of my head. Be the players I'm looking for in that game, and I'd probably be pretty heavily focused on them. Unless I find some other value at quarterback, in which case I can get off of Ertz just because I don't want to pay if I don't have to for quarterback. Oakland, Buffalo, 45.5. Game seems okay-ish. I don't know where I'm going to go with the Buffalo offense. I don't like them. Derek Carr looked like he was back, but it's another west to east game. We saw what happened when Denver went to Buffalo. Buffalo's got a good defense. Might be a little bit of a trap. Indianapolis, Cincinnati. Cincinnati 10-point favorite over. We know Indy's bad. It looks like an AJ Green week. It looks like, you want to take a guess at one of those running backs in Cincy, go for it. But it looks like it might be a defense. AJ Green, Tyler Kroft, I guess, if you really wanted to. I don't know how to take a swing on Andy Dalton just yet. Seems like kind of weak though. I wouldn't probably touch any Indy players. Chargers, New England, this is probably the shootout game. It looks like it might have some potential, although, again, west to east. God, west to east in early games just is death to those West Coast teams in a lot of cases. So, New England, you might want to focus on that side of the offense. Again, what receiver? I don't know. Naked Brady sounds good. If Naked Brady is up there with Carson Wentz or Naked Breeze, I don't know who I would pick, but I'd be running 3 of them. I'd be looking at all 3 of them for sure. Chargers, it's kind of like Melvin Gordon or bust. Maybe some Keenan Allen in garbage time. Seems like that would be a play. Keenan Allen gets some garbage time if New England jumps out to a big lead. Houston and Seattle. Is this everyone's time to jump back on Deshaun Watson going into Seattle facing the former Legion of Boom? I don't know. Not really off the top of my head. Doesn't look like a massively attractive spot. I wish Seattle had a running game. If they did, I'd lean on running backs a lot this year. Russell Wilson plays better at home. Doug Baldwin plays better at home. They're coming off another good week. I think we saw that when they visited Tennessee and then came home and then crapped. So I don't know where I feel on that one. Again, it feels iffy, so I'm probably off the game. Dallas, Washington, this one's going to be juicy. Rivalry game, though, so you might want to watch that. Close spread, big over under. Got Zeke again. Dak is solid again. Carson Palmer, not Carson Palmer. Kirk Cousins again. Gosh, there's a lot to choose from here. I like this game. Really like that game. Pittsburgh, Detroit, and it's on the main. It looks like it's on the main slate too, so that's a good thing. Pittsburgh, Detroit, Pittsburgh looks like a real good team again. I don't know about Ben. I certainly don't know about Stafford. Le'Veon Bell, lock him up. Antonio Brown, lock him up. Juju Schuster's kind of becoming a thing. And with this Martavis Bryant crap, I mean, he probably gets a bump in ownership and stuff, but Juju Schuster's had a pretty good season so far from what I know. I haven't played the guy in DFS yet. Haven't really looked at him yet. Haven't really trusted him yet. But his name keeps popping up in the box scores. So if he gets targeted 6, 7, 8 times a game, he might be somebody that we need to look to because I bet his price is still fairly affordable, which would be a good thing. Monday night, Denver at Kansas City, big rivalry game at Arrowhead. Lowish total, big spread, Kansas City. There's obviously no love for the Denver offense. This is the type of game for GPPs where you might throw a flyer out there on Denver. Some of the receivers, if they get Emmanuel Sanders back, I'll probably be looking to play him in some games for a Monday night hammer. Kareem Hunt is going to be popular. Travis Kelce is going to be popular. But these are guys, again, the Denver defense is good. So it's going to require some more thought. We're going to need more detail. This is just that was my first glance, literally my first glance at the slate too. So we'll have to dive in. I'm going to crack on the wishbone. I'll release that. I'll put this video in there with it for those of you that like video summaries and don't like to do a lot of reading. Come back. We'll do some video tips throughout the week. That was the first level of my process for how I get my week started. I wrap up the previous week. I get going on the next week, just kind of what pops to me. I haven't looked at any other sources yet, haven't listened to any podcasts, haven't looked at anybody yet. I go strictly on my gut first, and then through the week, I'm going to see if my gut starts matching up with the public. If it does, then I'm on the right track for cash, and then I look for people that are slightly less mentioned for GPPs, and I start sprinkling them into some of my lineups too. If it all hits, boom, we have a good week like we did last week, as you saw. And if not, well, we chalk it up to the next week. That's why we play bankroll management. That's why we don't. If I have $200 in my account, I don't throw $100 a week on it. I play for $200. I play, somewhere between 20 and $40. And that allows me 8 to 10 weeks of consistent losing before I have to redeposit. I'm not going to consistently lose 8 to 10 weeks. Neither are you if you plug into dfsarmy.com and give us a chance to teach you how to play better. Follow the link in the description. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. Help me retweet this content. Let's find more people. The more people we find, the more we bring into the DFS Army, the more the Army grows, the more the Army generates revenue, the more the Army gives it back to you in effective methods of teaching like this, our content, our tools, our optimizer, all that stuff. Oh, that's the one thing I should, well, I'll show you another time. You're going to have to come back, you're going to have to pay attention, you're going to have to like and subscribe to the channel, and follow me out on Twitter at Chapadong. And we will keep bringing the content to you. I'll show you some of the optimizer stuff when we get to that part of the week. So peace out, guys. Let's talk to you throughout the week.